Namaste, Sitaram. Assalamu alaikum, Shalom, good morning, good evening, and good night to each and every one of you. I want to say welcome to Divine Soul Journey. Divine? Why? Because we connect with our divine. And we all have a soul. We have many souls, and we're all on that journey together. At this point, before I introduce my lovely guest and my absent co-host, Miss Beautiful Porsche Ng, I just want to say as a disclaimer, this is not about religion. This is not about Taoism. This is about you, your faith, and your beliefs, and we respect each and every one of you. So I would like you to sit back, get comfortable, and by the way, you don't have to do what we're saying. We're not suggesting here. We're not here to convince anyone. We just like you to sit back. And if it resonates with you, awesome. If not, then it's okay. Just enjoy. At this time, I normally would introduce my lovely co-host Porsche, like I said. But Porsche is doing some cool, great things. You know, she is coming back soon, and she's coming back a bang with so much more to share with us. But I would like you to please join me in welcoming my amazing, amazing guest. I've known this beautiful woman and this soul for so many years. It was time we brought her on the show. Welcome, and help me welcome. It's Michell Barker. Welcome, Michelle.
Oh, thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Happy to be here.
Michelle, it's long overdue.
Long overdue. We used to spend every day together.
Every day we got into mischief.
That's right.
You know, you helped me so much. You were my backbone. Hopefully we can get you back there. You know, and here's why I say that, because we all learn from each other.
That's right.
We all learn from each other, and we've done spiritual things together. We've spent a lot of time in the media space.
That's right.
You know, we used to tag along. I know we had some fun field
Yes,
trips.
we did. And you were a great teacher and mentor to me. So throughout that period, so I'll never forget it.
You know, we've been there.
We have.
You know my story a lot more than most people, because you were there
That's right.
for certain parts of it, and we do have come a long way. But we have to celebrate where we are right now, because congratulations on your book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, You Are Not the Only One is the name of the book, and it's currently on Amazon. It can be purchased there. And yeah, I've been
And you're coming up with another version.
I am, and yes, that's right. And I'm definitely going to give you the updated version as soon as I get it. But yeah, it's 3 years in the making.
3 years, don't worry. I have one book that's 10 years in the making. So I've written the book and I haven't published yet.
It would be your second book, though, right?
I have a few books.
Yeah. So you have some that are already published.
Waiting to be published, and I'm going to be writing one soon, all
Nice.
about soul marketing and so forth. But this is not about that. This is about you, Michelle. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Right. So my name is Michell Barker, and I'm an author with a podcast that's passionate about helping people go from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset through self-development content. So through video posts, on my social media, through my book. So I've been doing it for 18 years. People don't know that part about me. So I've been in the female empowerment space for a really long time.
Okay, that's all fine and dandy, Michelle, but let's find out about Michelle.
Well,
I appreciate you telling me that part.
Right.
But I like to hear how people don't get from here, from here to 60 seconds, and
That's right.
in 60 seconds, literally 60 seconds could be 18 years in the making.
Right.
So let us talk about why you became empowering, because I know you have a very powerful story, and like I said, I'm not here to convince you to share,
Right.
but I'm sure there's lots of people out there who would resonate with your story if you choose to be comfortable. But I know you're a person who's open about your story.
Absolutely.
So if you can please.
Yeah, I learned that from you.
You're
That there's
right
no
about that.
You are the most open book I know.
Too open sometimes, and people are still getting to know more about me on this show.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is also on a side note, that has already also helped me But of course, there's still certain things for confidentiality you can't talk about
Right.
that privately.
Right.
Some things, people in your life that you cannot talk about, or certain things you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, definitely, slowly and surely. I have fun doing the show with Porsche and all
Right.
the guests that we have
Mm-hmm.
because we learn from each other. We teach each other, we uplift each other, and we'll do some upliftment for you today and some blessing and some forgiveness because we all can use it. But please, who is Michell Barker?
Right. So I was born in Panama, so I'm Afro-Latina. And essentially, I was sexually abused as a toddler. So when my mother moved from Panama to Texas, actually, unfortunately, she left me in the care of a babysitter who sexually abused me. And then we continued to migrate to Toronto. Now, the interesting part of this whole thing is that my body recorded the trauma, but my mind didn't, right? So I had no memory of it, but I had all the symptoms of somebody who had been sexually abused. So the rebellion, the drug use, the promiscuity, all of it, like any checkbox in terms of the effects of sexual abuse, I could definitely check it off. So had my son at 17, got married at 19, to somebody who was supposed to be a lesson, and I tried to make him permanent, which is all good. And then at 20, I just had my breaking point. I just said, you know what? I was tired of the toxic environment, and that's when I started my self-development journey. Because I found for women, society expects us just to be so perfect without teaching us what the expectancy is or how to be it in most cases. And I just thought it was very unfair. So as I was healing, I became passionate about teaching other women what I was learning. So it started off at my church, then it evolved to an online magazine, then it evolved to shelters, women's shelters, and I still do those to this day. So I just believe in the power of women. I feel like the playing field is not fair, because there are certain expectations on women and there's not enough on men. And I really do believe in equality and the freedom of women. And that's been my journey, more or less.
Well, congratulations. And here's the thing, as you know, definitely that we're put in a space and a path and for us to experience the experience, because without that story, you're nobody. There's no way, I believe, if you experience it, you can talk the talk and you can walk the walk. And, someone can say to me, I always remember this. I don't believe you were there at the time. It was International Women's Day, and this always sticks in my mind.
Right.
That there was a girl who came on stage and was talking about her brother's suicide. Now, yes, as a sibling, you can speak about the other, but you never truly know what the actual person is experiencing to get to that point. You know a certain level, but you really would not know the whole story, their emotions. And everybody has been. Actually, one person said to me they've never thought about suicide. Who has never thought of the thought?
Right.
I'm not talking about the action, but we've all been there at some point in time. Just give up. Whether it be just a give up thought. So I applaud you for sharing your story, and you have a beautiful son, Elijah, very talented son.
Yes.
And you have really come a long way of being a single parent.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it was a long journey. I mean, nobody ever pictures themselves being a single parent, right? Like, you have all these visions and dreams for yourself. So, when it happens to you, you really have to adjust. And I feel that one of the things that, not regret, but looking back, I wish I did more of was enjoy him more, because I was working full time, and he had, he was a full-time soccer player. I always had him in something like drumming, to keep him busy. So I find that even as a mother now, I'm still applying the lessons that I've learned to him, even though he's 22 now. right? So now I'm trying to enjoy him more, and it's okay if you're a
Are you
single mom.
smothering him?
No, no, no. I'm not the smothering type. I raised him to be independent, and he
Yes,
lives with
you
his
did. You
girlfriend.
did.
Yes, yes.
I remember when he was young and he had, I think, his
Yeah.
part-time job.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've been taking him to work since he was 4 years old and paying him, for being at my job. So, but that was one of the hardest things I'd ever had to go through, aside from the sexual assault, because I went into postpartum depression. I had to fight through, feelings of pain of not having his father around. So that pain really, grew me up, as they said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, we're going all open with this, right, Michelle?
All open.
Okay, okay.
Please. Yeah.
So here's the thing. I know a lot about Michelle's story because
Yes.
we work in the past, and
Yes.
thank you so much for trusting.
Yeah.
And I hope that did help you with the breakthroughs, because I remember when I
Yeah.
said to go in the other room and
Yeah.
make that phone call.
Yeah. That's right.
Did you want to touch a little bit about that story?
Is it my dad?
That was a breaking point for you. It really was a breaking point for you. I said to Michelle, go in there. She said, no. I was like, yeah, now pick up the phone. Because that was a huge part.
Yeah, my father. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you remember that. Yeah. Yeah, because I
remember the pointing in the room and saying, Michelle, go right now and make it. And you're like, he's in Panama. I was like, no, go make the call.
I know. And, shout out to my dad, who's been open to my journey with him, because I didn't grow up with him, so, and that left a huge hole in my heart, but I internalized the hurt into hatred for him. So that's why you're like, go talk to him, go, confront him, ask him questions. And, I don't really feel like his answers were satisfactory. Like, the healing came in the confronting, not so much in the way that he responded. So I just really unleashed all my questions and asked him, like, what happened, and got his perspective. And I didn't think it was going to make me feel better, but it did. And we're a lot closer now because of it, right? Because we can never have the mother-daughter relationship that would have happened if I was a little girl, but now we're coming to our own middle.
Well, with your father, I remember you also took a trip.
Yeah, to go see him.
To see him. Yeah. Because the reason I want Michelle, I love that Michelle has been very open here, is that sometimes we have to be the heroes in this, and we have to take that step, because you were looking for a solution. You were looking for answers. You were looking for healing. You were looking for everything. So it wasn't going to come to you. And your father is very regimented, from my understanding.
Oh, yeah. My father was in the military. He's a highly disciplined person, Yeah, but, I also found that sometimes we have to look at our parents as people as well. And instead of having this perfect vision of what we think our parents should be, we actually have to look at them in the reality that they're people with feelings, because we would have compassion on a stranger, but for some reason we hold our parents to a very strict box of what they're allowed to be in our own lives. And I had to release that box. I had to say, okay, this is who Vincent is,
And here's the thing about that is, we always say that first of all, we cannot blame them. We're not here to point, because it's cause versus effect. We take the responsibility of our lives and what you did. So congratulations for that.
Yes,
but the fact is, that's pretty much their life and how they were taught. Based on your grandparents and the people around them, so to influence them, and they do the best they can.
That's right.
And for them, a survival, and of course, being in the military, and living in Panama and so forth. But the point is, that's what they knew, and this is what they brought down to each and every one of us.
That's right.
So, if it wasn't for him, in this strange way, I'm going to say this, that we celebrate that too as well, because. Not to say that you deserve, no one deserves. However, in order for you to be here right now and doing what you're doing, and I know you have a long way to go, we all have a long way to go. It never ends, because there's always another level and another level. Because of that, it's made you the person you are today.
Right.
Right? So everybody, I want to say out there as well, is that one of the things, Michelle, is when I started to reflect about some of the things. I don't say coulda, shoulda, woulda anymore.
That's right.
Because if it coulda, shoulda, woulda, or
Yeah.
be this or hope, you wouldn't be who you are today. That's
right.
number one. You wouldn't probably appreciate it like you are now.
Mm-hmm.
But the good, the bad, and the ugly, I always say this, the good and the bad and the ugly, the day I stopped and I said, I appreciate the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know that movie with Clint Eastwood?
Yeah, that's right.
And embrace it and embrace all the ups and the downs and so forth. That was a turning point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm here. I have a lot more to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you. And gratitude is huge. We have to give gratitude and thanks for every single thing. It doesn't matter if somebody gave you a look,
Yeah.
walking down the street, or said something negative to you, or
Mhm.
really not so nice. You say thank you. Because it's not about them, it's about you.
That's
It's
right.
the message that's coming to you, or the energy is coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to figure out why was that person in that spot? Maybe it was to delay you for a second. It could be something, an accident was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever been in a position whereby it was like, why did this happen? And then you found out something else happened. It could be a split second. So you never
Yeah.
know why something has delayed you in any, on your journey.
Yeah.
And that can happen in many ways. It could be a relationship. It could be a simple little thing. It could be a phone call. I know some people who was saved by a phone call from being killed
Right.
and so forth. So again, we celebrate, and I want you to celebrate with us and celebrate with Michelle for coming this far
That's right.
and getting over the hurdle. There's more hurdles, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's going to be more hurdles, but the hurdles are going to be higher. And guess what? If she can get through the minor things, awesome, it's a piece of cake.
That's right. And the past couldn't have been any different because you make the best decisions that you made with the consciousness that you have. Because, people always say, well, if I had known, well, you only knew because of what you had gone through.
Well, let's touch on that for a moment. If you had known, pick something in your life, you think you would have made a better decision? I always say this, and you've heard me say this, and
Right.
to the lovely audience right now who's just joining us in Divine Soul Journey, I'm with Michelle Barker, one of my good friends.
Yeah.
She looks up to me, but these guys don't know how much I look up to them.
Mhm.
I do. I don't say it much. I do, because everybody has their path, and then we kind of, we don't stray away too far because we keep in touch from time to time.
Yeah.
And I see what she's doing. She's going for her walk, and she has, her little selfie talking. And
That's right.
oh,
my
I see it,
motivational
Michelle.
videos.
Yes, I do.
Well, thank you.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
All these different things. But the fact is that, and I lost my train of thought there for a second. I went with that motivational thing. But anyway, the
Yeah.
point is,
Right.
sometimes
The past could not have been any different.
it could not have been any different.
Mm-mm.
And if you had to pick something there
Mhm.
that, if you thought it would have been different, and I'm going to Steve Harvey, he always said if he had all this money, because I think you quote Steve Harvey sometimes
Yeah,
too,
I
right?
quote everybody.
So when he says he's happy he didn't have all the money he has now and the wealth and the power, because if he had it 20 years ago or so,
Mhm.
it would have been gone.
Right. Absolutely.
Women,
Absolutely.
I probably would have been in a 7th, 8th marriage by now. I don't know, but I don't
Yeah,
know
you
what
would have
type of
lost
lifestyle
it
they have.
all.
We have lost it all. So
Right.
you reach a point now that now you appreciate. I know you were carefree before. I
Right.
know you like the good stuff. I know you love to eat well. I know this. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, she loves to eat well. But then
Yeah.
you come down and you say you appreciate that the little things that you have now.
That's right. And I feel like the last 3 years, that's what's happened to me. It's like the universe just was like, I need you to sit down. So in writing the book, I had to exercise so much discipline. So I had to learn how to cook, like not eat out so much. And
Yes, Michelle, you used to eat out a lot.
I know, like every day.
But you know what? Talking about that,
Yeah.
you were not to dwell too much on this.
Yeah.
You were in a space not too long ago where you were in the limelight in a lifestyle. It was because of job,
Yeah.
and
Right.
you tasted everything,
I did.
but it wasn't for you.
No. And I
Because
learned.
you shut off and you detached from all of that, correct?
I did. I shut everybody out after that. And surprisingly enough, that's when I started writing the book. So, and nobody knew I was writing a book, not even my son who lived with me. And I thought for some reason I had told everybody, right?
I knew you were writing a book.
Okay, you are one of 3 people.
I haven't seen the book yet.
Yeah, you're one of 3 people.
You did tell me you were writing the book originally,
Yeah.
because I help people write books, and I think you had
That's
asked
right.
me something.
Yeah, that's right. So if you weren't involved in the process of me writing, nobody knew. So for me, I realized that, you know what, a better position, you know, fancy, luxurious lifestyle.
I will still endorse the book for you, Michelle. Let
Thank
me
you.
know.
I know. I'm going to give you the copy as soon as it's updated.
No, I said I would endorse the book for you if you like.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'd love you to.
I will.
Okay.
You're my girl, Michelle.
I know, right? I know, we're always there for each other. And yeah, so I mean, now I think I'm just living a more authentic life, like practicing gratitude when I wake up in the morning. Just grateful for everything that I've been through and everything that I'm going through. And I'm in a much better space because, and you know this to be true, when you write a book, it matures you so much as a person. So it was in the book that I remembered the memory of my grandmother telling my aunts that I was sexually abused. That in writing the book, the memory came up. And then I went to my mom and I asked her, I was like, was I sexually abused? And we never had the conversation. I was, I think, 38 at the time, right? I'm 39 now. And
so this is very recent. You just discovered this.
It's very recent, yeah. And I asked my mom and I was like, was I sexually abused? She goes, yeah, by the babysitter. First time we've had that conversation. And that's when I just was able to actually heal the problem.
That was your elephant. That was one of the elephants.
But that was the main one.
Cause.
That was the alpha elephant, if that's even a thing.
It's always a thing. If not, it is a thing now.
Yeah.
There's many elephants, and here's the thing: is things are so buried inside that we have to go to the root cause. Until you start peeling off the layers, then things begin to come to fruition, to memory, realization, and it's like, oh, is that what I feel this? Is that why I feel this? Is that why I do this? Because one of the things with relationship, being a single person for quite some time, you're looking for something. We're always looking for something, right? And we don't know why it's not working out.
Yeah.
And it's a simple little thing of taking your innocence as a child. I mean, imagine abusing, whether it be a female babysitter abusing or even a male.
Yeah, mine was female.
I've heard stories, Michelle, because I do the elephant in the room. I do other sessions on my NLP, and I've heard stories of, you said toddler, some person said to me they were a year old.
That's right, yeah.
And so forth. And
it's
crazy. It's not uncommon, but it's crazy. And it's when you have that realization and you start to confront it and start speaking about it, that's your story. Look at Oprah.
Yeah, that's right.
Why do you think Oprah became Oprah, more or less?
Right.
It was a story.
Right.
Because she gained the trust of people. It wasn't because of Oprah now.
Right.
And her, orchard of avocados that she has there. She does.
Yeah, I heard about it.
She does. She talked about it. It's not about that.
Right.
It's about gaining the trust and the openness. And she talked openly about it.
Right.
And she does a lot of forgiveness.
Right. But I think what you said is so key, though. It's like you have to watch the story that you're telling yourself. Because I was telling myself that the experience of being sexually abused, I thought I was damaged. Because one of the things you tell yourself is that it's altered you in a way, and it does alter you in a very significant way. But the thing is, you're not damaged beyond repair. That's not true. And I always talk about knowing what's true versus knowing what's not true.
I'm going to ask you a very strange question, but I believe you're one of the few people can ask this, because I never came to, like I said, I'm very, how my brain works.
Yeah.
Do you feel that being abused as a toddler, a baby,
right,
is more devastating or traumatic than maybe I know you didn't do it as a teenager, but as a teenager, it's a different story. It's the same thing, but somebody as a baby will take advantage of someone so innocent.
Right.
How did you feel when you found out you were so young and yet somebody...
Yeah, I mean...
Because I'll tell you why I'm saying that. Pretty much 2 or 3 out of 4 people are sexually abused, mentally, physically, emotionally.
Yeah, 100%. Is it more devastating? I would think it would be more devastating in the way that, because when you're abused, it alters you psychologically, like just everything in your body and in your mind, right? So I feel like if you're sexually abused later on in your life, at least you have that period of time where you were able to build memories and, you know, develop yourself more as a person. But when you're sexually abused at that young age, I mean, it almost instantly defines your entire childhood. You know what I mean?
Do you remember, do you recall, and this probably is a moment you don't want to, here's the thing about a detachment.
Right.
The memory is there, but the emotions, to detach from the emotions, that's what it is. But do you remember what happened, how you felt when that memory came to you? Were you like puzzled? Were you confused? What do you recall what you were doing and it just came?
Right. No, so I still don't recall any of it. I just recall my grandmother talking about it. Right. So I had to connect with it like more in my imagination and my subconscious and stuff like that.
Was it tough for you to go to your mom and ask her?
At that point, no, because you know me, I've been trying to heal myself for 18. Like, you know, everybody knew something's wrong, but none of us could pinpoint what it was. So for me, it was very easy because I'm committed to my self-healing.
And I applaud you for that. And
Yeah.
you know what? I am so proud of you, Michelle.
Thank you.
So proud of you. Like I said, when we met, there was so many things happening, but you've come along with not only you, not only
wild.
you.
No, I know.
I didn't say it. She said it.
I'm okay with it at this point. You know what I mean?
But it's okay. It's
yeah.
okay. Listen, you were searching at the time, and this
Yeah.
is again all part of your journey,
Yeah.
because you can talk to people, and you can mentor the boys and the girls about
Right.
this as well, even that
Yeah.
age group.
100%. I do want to say one thing.
You can say whatever you like, Michelle.
Thank you. Being sexually abused at that young age prevented me from being able to connect with love, with authentic love. So I grew up with this self-belief that nobody loved me. And even if people did genuinely and pure-heartedly love me or say that they love me, I wasn't able to.
And that's because of your elephant that's stuck in
right.
there to the root cause,
That's
but
right.
you didn't know what was planted there because you couldn't
Exactly.
understand. You
Exactly.
didn't. But you always know when the time is right. Because if you had found this out, you were 38 at the time, if you found this out 8 years ago or 9 years ago,
Right.
it probably wouldn't affect you as much as it is now. Or even the reaction and the healing for it, it would have been so much different what it is now than back then.
Right.
You know, what would you have done?
Right.
You would have been a little bit
Yeah.
off the wall. But you do know that you're not broken to be fixed. You're here for a reason, and all of our experiences is like, and you hear people say this all the time. I'm not saying things that audience that you guys don't know, and we all love you, and we're happy that you're here and you're listening. But at the same time, we have to be open to so many things. We have to be forgiven. We have to be, the love and compassion and forgiveness heals everything. You heal the heart first, and the rest is magic, because where's your soul? Now, typically your soul does not really, we all have soul, spirit, breath of life, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't typically rest in our, what we call, of course we know about chakras, but our heart, not our physical heart, and our spiritual heart, the message center, which is between the sternum. It doesn't typically sit there. It can be in the lower abdomen, by your belly. The one we're rubbing right now, Michelle. Yes,
Okay.
mine. So she's actually rubbing. And so forth. It could be lower. But the point is, and we have to rub it with love because it's part of who we are. You give it love and you'll be surprised. And I'll teach you some things later on, Michelle, what you can do. And you'll be surprised how even talking to your body, talking to your eyes, talking to your arm, talking to your hand, talking to your heart, talking to your legs, your knee, where you have aches and pains, can heal it. And pretty much your soul can literally sit in your lower abdomen, in your solar plexus, in your root chakra. Doesn't necessarily have to be in your heart, so it would move up. But how it moves up is when you release.
That's right.
So, and we get forgiveness. So, Michelle, guess what? We're going to do that right now.
Nice.
So,
Okay. I'm ready.
ready? So, all you have to do is sit and look pretty.
Okay.
So, what you need to do for our lovely audience who are joining us and Michelle, I would like you to take one hand and put it in your lower abdomen, just under your belly button. Yes, our lovely little piece of fat that we have here. At least in my case.
Mine too.
I know I go to bed really late, Michelle. So like 12 o'clock at night is like my dinner time, okay? Which is a bad thing.
I know.
And then of course you're going to have one in this particular case, we're going to be working on relationships. But if it's, you can choose another part of your body. If you have aches or pain, just put your other hand in that spot. It could be your liver, your pancreas, your lungs, your eyes, whatever the case may be. But if you're not sure where to, you can also ask heaven to decide. Or if you put in your heart and you heal your heart, you heal all parts of your body. So that's awesome. Again, for those who are sitting down, please put your feet flat on the floor. Sit up without the backrest. So sit up. And for those who are lying down, again, you can relax. But if you want to chant or you want to say anything, say it silently because the energy just goes through your body. Okay? So, again, if you want to partake, awesome. We welcome you. If not, it's okay. Now, this practice and this blessing we're going to give Michelle is directed to Michelle, but you all also will get a splash of it. It could be 1%, 2%, but do know that you are getting a blessing as well. So I would like you all to close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and I want you to visualize a golden light ball or the sun surrounding you above your head where your chakra is. For those who know where your crown chakra is, just above your head. When you're a baby, you have a soft spot. Well, it enters through there. If not, it's okay. So you can just breathe and just feel it enter into your chakra, or you can take it as a breath. Breathe in and go down and breathe down to your lower abdomen, and then you can bring it up and you can rest in your heart and then let it go. Let it burst into your heart. Or you can just breathe it in and just sit in your heart and just feel that golden light ball and let it just burst into your heart. So I'm just going to do a forgiveness practice as we do. And again, we're here sitting with Michelle Barker in studio. And I want to thank you all for joining us on Divine Soul Journey. And if you want to find out more about what we do, please join us at dsjshow2020@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. And I want to thank you all. So close your eyes. Relax. Drop your shoulders. And just in silence. And you can repeat it out loud or do it in silence. Now you're going to hear some words as well. The Shen Qi Jin is the heart. It's the soul, heart, mind, and body. That's what it is. And if you hear any other words that's in Mandarin, I'll explain it in a moment. Hao means all is good. Gonsong means when we call on our Heavenly Father or Heaven's team, we have to ask them to return because they have to go back home and rest because they're sharing virtue with us. What you put into this, you will get out of this. So Michelle, are you ready for this?
I am.
Cool. So here we go. I'm just going to say hello to the outer and inner souls. We do have outer and inner souls. So dear Source and Divine, they're all our spiritual fathers and mothers in all realms. They're heaven and Mother Earth. They're countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universe. They're all the souls of my ancestors who I have harmed in any way related to relationship in this lifetime and all lifetimes. They are Shen Qi Jin of my Ming Men, which is one of the energy centers, across your navel, directly across. point unconnected area. I love you all. Please forgive my ancestors and me for the mistakes we have made in this lifetime and all lifetimes, causing any challenges in anyone's relationship. We unconditionally forgive anyone who harmed any relationships of my ancestors, of me, or me in any and all lifetimes. Please heal my relationships with, and audience, you can pick the relationship that you request in a healing for. Michelle, you can pick a person, or if it's yourself, it can be yourself, the relationship. I am extremely grateful. Thank you. So I want you to visualize your energy center, your midman point, at your navel, straight across your lower back, around your spine. That's the midman point. And for most people who have probably had an epidural like I have, you know where that point is. I would like you to connect the area with a shining golden light. Just think of that area. A golden light. Feel the warmth of the light. Feel it like the sun, like you have the sun bursting in there. Feel it. It's rotating. And you can repeat after me, or you can be in silence. Michelle, you can be in silence if you wish. I forgive you unconditionally. You forgive me unconditionally. Bring love, peace, and harmony. Focus on that spot. I forgive you unconditionally. You forgive me unconditionally. Bring love, peace, and harmony. I forgive you unconditionally. You forgive me unconditionally. Bring love, peace, and harmony. I forgive you unconditionally. You forgive me unconditionally. Bring love, peace, and harmony. I forgive you unconditionally. You forgive me unconditionally. Bring love, peace, and harmony. And you could say the words. I would say Da Quan Shu. Da Quan Shu means greatest forgiveness. You all can repeat greatest forgiveness. Greatest forgiveness. But say it in a way that you feel it, that you're giving forgiveness, whether it be with a partner or whether it be for yourself. Greatest forgiveness. Greatest forgiveness. And feel the love. Da Quan Shu. 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 Greatest forgiveness. 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 While you continue to do that, I'm going to offer a blessing for Michelle. For the area she has chosen, and I will ask you, Michelle, to say your name. You can say it silently or you could say it out loud 3 times your full name. And for those who are listening, you can also do the same because you will be getting a flash of this as well. So, if you just bear with me a moment, I'm going to do a silent invocation. Michelle, can you say your name 3 times? Your full name? You could do it in silence. You could say it out loud. It's fine.
Michell Barker, Michell Barker, Michell Barker.
And you can think about the area in yourself wherever you want to, anyone who wants to, for the area that you would like to heal as appropriate. Our hands blessing starts now. Blessing ends with our hands raised. If you can put your hands together and say how. Put your hand in a prayer position where however you pray, whether it be on your lap and your hands together. And say how. That means all is good.
How.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And give gratitude and love and thanks in your way. You can say it in silence.
I'm grateful for all things happening in my life right now.
Good song. Take a moment. Now when you're ready, Michelle, open your eyes. Whenever you're ready. Is there anything to share? And please do know that there's sometimes you may feel nothing, you may feel something. It can take anywhere 2 or 3 days to integrate, but do know that you were blessed and you got a blessing. It can be that simple. It could be a tingle. It could be lightness. It could be anything. So, Michelle, if you have something to share, if not, it's okay. But we know you got a blessing. So, is there any?
Yeah, I think what resonated with me was the forgiveness of my ancestors. So that was very powerful.
How does your body feel? Do you feel anything?
I feel like I came in with in emotional pain a little bit, and I feel like it's been released. But I also like the forgiveness practice. I was doing it towards my rebellious teenage self, and I was forgiving her and she was forgiving me. So that was also
beautiful.
Very powerful. Yeah, it's all about self-love.
It's all about self-love, and Michelle will give you some practices to do. And definitely you will see a tremendous, and again, even the fact that they resonate with the little you and your ancestors, because one of the things is the fact that most of our what we talk karma or virtue, when we talk about blessings and get a mother's blessing, if you didn't have a mother's blessing, a lot of things in the past is, people say, we're cursed. Why is Michelle better than I am? How come Michelle has this and I don't have this? And the point is, Michelle's ancestors may have done a lot of healing or good in the old days. And of course, not saying that your family is any worse, but you understand. And it could skip a generation. It could be a grandparents. It could be a great grandparents. You get all those blessings. And then sometimes people are like, what is happening? It don't matter what I do, I just can't move forward. And you're beating yourself up and say, but I don't do this and I don't do this. A lot of it has to do with your ancestors. As you continue, and I recommend this, Stephanie, you continue to do a forgiveness practice every day. And even if the music you hear in the background is a love, peace, and harmony, we play it on all the shows. It's a very powerful song. We're playing the instrumental version right now. You listen to this 24 hours and you will see the difference in the space that you're in. And you have the ability to transform your space and everyone around you. So I encourage you to do so. As the time goes by, you're going to feel more and more lightness. You're going to feel a bit more empowered. It's a miracle. Some people get healing overnight. And some of them, they have to work on it. It's a work. You will only get what heaven gives you, only what you need and deserve. And that's one of the lessons that we learned. So where do you see Michelle going from here? And thank you for trusting, Michelle, and
Yeah, no,
being
you're
here.
a powerful healer. So
Thank you.
Our
There's a lot of
sessions
work.
have
A lot of work.
always made a difference. And for me, I'm one of those,
Wait till they experience the elephant in the room. You have never experienced that one.
this is new. But you know what? It doesn't
It's
surprise
not new,
me.
Michelle.
Yeah.
It's just I was doing it. I just put a name to it now. I didn't realize what it was.
Yeah. So I heal brick by brick, piece by piece. That's how I heal. So
Isn't that how you build a house? A strong house? A strong
that's right.
foundation?
That's right. That's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So where do you see Michelle from here now? What is next for Michelle?
Well, for me, it's going to be promoting the book and doing public speaking, and also just showing myself a lot of compassion and empathy and love.
When you say public speaking, what exactly is the message you want to bring forward?
Well, it's, in order to live the best life that you can live, you have to let go of the past, and you have to change your life only by the inside out, because the external things are not going to make you happy.
Yeah, I'm happy that you brought that up because, yes, we did mention that before. And the release. Now, we talked about detachment earlier, and that's what you did with the forgiveness practice and the practice releasing and detaching. Sometimes detach doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take a scissors and cut a cord from someone. But you're going to see that, again, when you're on, it happened to me too. There's some people who are very close to me that there's no longer around because they have to go through their journey. And this happens in family, friends, business, relationship, and so forth. They have to go through their journey and you have to go through your journey. But if you're climbing up that ladder and they're not climbing up the ladder, you can't bring them along.
Absolutely. It's called pruning, right? So it's cutting off the dead leaves so you as a flower can blossom even more.
That's a funny thing you should say that, Michelle, because most people, when we see a dead flower, because I took out some of the dead ones, some and Lily I had here, and I always remember this now, that if you keep a dead flower in a plant, the new ones the baby cannot grow. I mean, it will, don't get me wrong, but you really need to clean. You need to really prune yourself. That's a good analogy. I didn't even think about that.
100%. You're always growing, you're always evolving. And if you don't tend to your own garden, which is your soul, then you'll die emotionally, I always say.
So you have a lot of pruning to do when you leave here today?
No, I've done actually most of the pruning.
There's always more, Michelle.
Oh, there is always. And maybe there's more to come. Actually, I do feel that there is another pruning coming along.
Well, even your social media, that's another thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Your social media, it's another thing that and here's the thing, sometimes you don't even have to do much. You just have to be in the space and it will happen for automatically. Because then people can't handle your energy. You can't handle your message. And then, people will sort you out. It's funny how we met because, how did we meet?
We met through a mutual friend.
Oh my God, it's so long. I'm just saying. But
we met through a mutual friend.
But apart from that too, you wanted to come, and work with us and
That's
volunteer
right.
time.
I approached you because
and that's
at that time you owned you owned a studio in Scarborough.
The first studio.
The first studio, yeah. And I said, let me be a part of it. Let me come work for you.
Well, I appreciate. Nobody works for me, Michelle.
I know. Works with you. I know. You always say that.
Yeah.
And then we just hit it off. And
But the reason I bring up that was not because of that. It's the fact that when you're ready, you know, people would appear.
That's right.
The resources, the teachers, the gurus. I'm not saying I'm that. I'm just saying the environment, the opportunities, and so many things. I mean, like for me right now, it's like I can't sleep sometimes because I have all this. I just created this creative side of me, which I could not create nothing. You know this.
Right.
Well, now all those posters and everything that you see online, I did all of those, and by boom, 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 I'm thinking, where did this come from? And
Yeah.
I am totally shocked. Okay, nobody is shocked. I am, but these are the opportunities that happen, and when it knocks on the door, you just have to embrace it and run with it. And some, the opportunities might be a year, might be 2 weeks, could be a month, could be with relationships as well. You just have to know what the lessons are, and it's not an easy thing. And most relationships end in drama because that's where you get the deepest lessons.
That's right.
But for you've had, you've matured so much too as well to the point that you will now recognize, not as an age, but you recognize that when something's not right because your energy is going to pick it up now.
That's right.
And you're going to see that you're going to look at people in your social media and say, I don't know if I want to be around that person anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a lot of cleanup.
It is. And I'm grateful for it because that's the only way that you evolve and you become your highest self is through that process.
Well, I'm going to say this to you, Michelle. It's time you have an actual visual show. Audio is fine, but it's time for people to see you and your messages that you have to share. And we'll talk about that because you need to because I know it's happened to me. And like I always say, we're reflection of each other. We always said that to many people. And it's time for people to actually see your face, hear your story more and more. So what would you like to leave with our lovely audience here today?
I would like your lovely audience to know that gratitude is really the oil to get you moving in life. Okay? So if you don't know what to do, just be grateful and you'll start to see yourself move forward naturally instead of having to work so hard at it. So be kind to yourself, be there for yourself, and you're awesome.
You heard that? You're awesome. And the thing about gratitude is simple. Be thankful for. Oh, you open your fridge and there was milk. There wasn't milk there before. You open your fridge and it's like, oh, I'm so thirsty. Is there a bottle of water in there? Oh, thank you. There's a bottle of water. That's what gratitude is about. It's a simple little thing. So, it's a quick funny story is my father. You have to understand, I'm from Trinidad, so things are a little different. My father, I could never understand. Not that I sat there and dwelled in it. My father used to say thank you every time you give him something. He was one of the first people. I was like, I didn't think much about it, but it was like every single thing. I didn't say it back, and I would just say thank you, whatever it is. I don't even remember. But he would say thank you for everything. You gave him something, thank you. And he was the only person I know who used to do that.
Right.
I was young. What did I know? Right? And I have no idea how. I don't remember much about my grandparents. I know my grandparents, but if that was a practice, but definitely my dad. So it's a little things. It's a little things that goes a long way. So, Michelle, it's I see you blossoming. I see you to the next level. This is not quite coincidence where we just got to hang out, and I want to see more of you. I want to hear more of you.
Thank you.
Yes, we go jogging. Yes, we go walking in the park, but I believe it's time to take it to the next level and let people hear your story and share, because a lot of people, women and men, who are going to resonate with you. Because, and by the way, before an embryo becomes male or female, it's all female, right? So you're working with everybody, male and female. You know this, right? So indirectly, you're working with everyone there as well. But here's the thing too as well. They're all looking for nurturers. They want to be nurturers, and I always say to them, if they want to be a good parent, they have to be themselves a good parent. And if they want their spouse to be a good parent, they themselves have to be the example for the other and the kids and everything else. You've done so well with your son.
Thank you.
He's a boy,
awesome.
obviously.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Right.
He's talented, and you should be very proud of yourself. And if he has not said that to you, and I know you guys are close,
Yeah.
I am saying to you, I am very proud of you for what you've done as a single mom, because there were lots of times when you had struggles, and that's all for another day, another story.
Right.
And you touch, the shelters and so forth and things like that.
Right.
And you've come a long way at 39 years old, and you can sit here and say, this is not the Michelle I knew, like in 2014, 15.
Yeah. It's a completely different person.
It's a completely different person.
Oh my gosh.
But I love the person I'm seeing in front of me,
Yeah.
because now you're ready to take it to the next step.
Yeah.
I always remember a conversation we had in the car, and I'll tell you that conversation in private. I remember that one. But on that note, everyone, that's a little Michelle, my private joke. So I want to say thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on and sharing.
Yeah.
And I know your story will help and resonate with many out there. And I want to thank you on behalf of Porsche and myself and Divine Soul Journey Show. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And for everyone who's listening out there, I want to say thank you for again joining us. And if you resonate with Michelle's story or any of the stories, or you have a story you want to share and you want to be on the show with us, please reach out to Divine Soul Journey, which is dsjshow2020@gmail.com. There's a time where one day we will have to step outside of our box. And one day we'll have to humble ourselves and say, why am I here? And I'm here to, and what you're going to say to yourself, okay, I'm here to share my story. So on that note, I would like to say to everyone, please do feel free to share your story. You may not be as open as Michelle, but let me tell you something. Michelle has done a lot of work to get to this point.
That's right.
So
we all start somewhere.
We all start somewhere.
That's right.
So I want to say to everyone, thank you so much for listening today. And it's always a pleasure when you see someone and smiling and happy, and I'm very proud of her. I really am.
Thank you.
And on that
I'm
note,
proud of you too.
Aw, Michelle, I have to close now, so make me
Okay.
get a little sobby now, okay? So on that note, I would like to say, aloha, namaste, sitaram, assalamu alaikum, shalom. Good morning, good evening, good night to each and every one of you. And until next time in Divine Soul Journey, this is Dianne, in absence of Portia, with Michelle, saying thank you for listening. We love you, we honor you, and we appreciate you. And in the words of Master Shah, love, peace, and harmony to each and every one. You have an awesome day. Thank you.